And now, I'd like to introduce the leader of our workforce revolution and the ultimate workforce warrior, DiMemmo.
How's everyone doing this morning? Kind of hoping for the Rocky team maybe next year. It's really awesome what this has become. For anyone who doesn't know me, I wrote the software about 2 decades ago. We started thinking about it. Then I thought I'd be a lot taller by now, but I talked to my mother, and that just wasn't going to happen. I'm going to be 51 years old in a couple days, and I'm hoping for my growth spurt then. And every year I hope for that. Anyway, so let's get down to what a workforce warrior is. We kind of looked at this conference today, or this week, and we thought of Evolution Exchange, and then we thought of the workforce warrior. Now, Evolution Exchange is basically how we built this software. I started in about 2 decades ago thinking about this through a local police department, Princeton Township Police, and they had some problems. They had some things with their schedule, and a lot of this stuff was because we're not open when the rest of the town is open. So there were certain things where somebody would call out sick on a Saturday night, payroll doesn't know, or isn't there to let them know if this person has enough sick time. So we started out with a couple of very small items that we were going to be looking at. One was going to be sick time, vacation time, different things like that. We had to know what the balances were. The next thing that we were going to be looking at is what's our minimum staffing requirements. So those were the 2 base things that we were looking at from the very beginning that grew to what we have now. Okay, that was in 1998. As a programmer in New York City, we were right before Y2K. It was every programmer was doing side jobs and everything was working out well. I went to Princeton. I gave them a price. They weren't going to have it. At that time, I didn't know about government budgets. Which I do definitely know about government budgets now. And by the way, if you remember anything that Brad told you, please remember when to pay your maintenance. And to pay for this conference. So, anyway, so we went off onto this journey, and we started looking at different things. And going back to the exchange, we started talking to other customers, other potential customers. When Princeton Township didn't have enough money to pay me to do the side job for them, I said, well, I still want to do it. It's very interesting. It sounds like it's going to be fun. It definitely wasn't the glamour of working in the banks in New York City or the garbage industry in New York City, but it was definitely something. I've always wanted to be a cop, but they had plenty of short people in the state police. So that was out of the question. So I said, okay, what can I do for the police? I'm a programmer. Not a very tough man's job, but I'm a programmer. So we started looking at these things, and I started talking to some other people. Now, at about this time, I was hitting about 30 years old, and some of my friends that I'd gone to high school and college with were becoming ranking officers in the police departments. In local police departments, I was out of training at the time, so we looked around Mercer County, and we started talking to certain people, and I said, hey, what do you think if we do this? And they said, yeah, it sounds like a pretty good idea. We have the same problem that the Princeton's having. We'd probably pay you to do it. Okay, well, probably was a pretty good thing at that time. So we started looking and we started building things. Minimum staffing requirements was a very important thing that we had to do. The sick time, the vacation time, we had to do all kinds of things like that. So, and we had to look at overtime, we had to look at comp time, we had to look at a bunch of different things in order to maintain those banks properly. Well, we finally rolled it out about 1998. And I got a phone call very early in the morning saying, hey, something's wrong here, what are you doing? People are approving time off, they're approving overtime, they're doing all these things. Guess what we forgot to do? Security. I said, stop, you're the police, tell them to stop. Right, you tell me to stop and I stop. So we looked at those things and we started looking, putting security in and different things like that. And we finally realized that, hey, we have unions, we have different rules, we have different things that we have to go by. So it started going down the other part of the systems. So we started looking at overtime. We have a rule. Ewing Township Police Department, somewhere around 2001, came to me and said, hey, we have a box And when we hire overtime, we just can't hire whoever we want to. We have a rule that I pick the person out of the box, call them up. Do you want to work overtime? Anyone? Is that how it usually works? We call overtime, we call them up, and we would say, would you like to work overtime? Yes or no. They take it, they go to the bottom of the box, and we pick up the next person, things like that. So that's where we actually got the fairness rotation. Okay, so the fairness rotation came from a very simple idea from a police department in Mercer County who said, hey, I have this plastic box with a bunch of index cards in it, and I need some help solving this problem and organizing this box. So we built a fairness rotation. Fast forward a couple years later, we're talking to some other police departments. They said to me, hey, guy, this thing is great. It's helping my overtime, keep my time balances, my minimum staffing requirements. Hey, why can't we just do payroll? Right? We got the roster right here. We know when everyone's on working overtime. We know when they're taking off and all those other things. So then the payroll system was built. Okay, so we looked at the roster. The byproduct of the roster is your payroll. So we actually created timesheets and we went through and we started creating your timesheets. So we did that. Extra duty billing came in. Scarsdale, New York helped me with that. They taught me all about extra duty payroll. Then we started working with Old Bridge, and they taught me the whole idea about escrow. Okay, so how do we escrow in New Jersey? We basically, people have to pay up front, and then we deduct from the escrow and all those other things. Then we started getting into time and attendance, punching clocks and doing different things like that. That came with the Atlantic County Jail. Okay, they said, hey, all this is great, but how do I know when the person's on the schedule and when he's supposed to come in? Okay, we know all that, but when he actually does come in, we need a way to verify that he came in when he was supposed to come in. So we started looking at time and attendance, but we took it a little bit different than a traditional time and attendance system. Traditional time and attendance system just says, hey, I'm going to punch in, and as soon as I start punching in, I'm going to get paid like I'm going to get paid immediately as soon as I start punching in. Well, we really couldn't have that rule because we're schedule centric, right? So we want to go ahead and we want to look at the schedule and compare the time and attendance to the schedule. Okay? If anyone's interested in time and attendance a little bit later, we take it a little bit differently than maybe you heard from your payroll company or different things like that, where we actually look at the schedule as opposed to, when someone punched in to make sure that they're here on time. We're going to be showing a bunch of things in the Discovery Center. So the whole evolution of our software, and I can go on and on and on and on, but I'm not going to because then you want to get really into the learning part of our systems. But the whole evolution of our software came from me talking to certain people. Okay, and I've used that same methodology for the past 20 years, where, hey, I'm not a cop. I don't know what to do. I don't know what you guys need every day. So let's talk about it. Let's figure out the best way. I'm just a programmer. So with your information, I can go ahead and create some really great programs. Now, the training module. Who has a training module? Who likes the training module? Good idea. We're redeveloping the training module. Now, the training module was an example of some bad information that we got. Okay? These guys in the back hate that I'm saying this, but that's okay. Especially the sales guys. The training module came from a single police department that had very specific needs. Now, not knowing how to do training for police, I looked at those needs and said, hey, that's the way everyone must do training. Okay? So that was about 10 years ago, and we've been thinking about how we're going to change it and everything like that. So what I want in this room, okay, we have 138 people in this room, and we have about 22% of our client base represented. I want some information. How do we do training? So see me afterwards, send me an email, do whatever you have to do, because we're getting ready to rewrite the training module. So if you want to give me that information, that'd be great. Evolution exchange. Okay? Send me the information and help me build you great systems. Okay? Now, the other thing we were just talking about was you saw the idea of a workforce warrior. Okay, so who has a definition of a workforce warrior? Anyone? Okay, I'm going to give you my definition of a workforce warrior. Like I said, I've been working with you guys for about 20 years, and there's one thing that I've seen working with government is there's usually somebody who's not happy. Okay, so you either have The staff happy or the management happy? No one's smiling, but I know it happens in your place. Okay? Anyone? Okay. So with that idea in mind, who has happy workers in your organization? Okay, good. So who has 100% happy workers? Okay, all you people back there in the blue shirts better be raising your hand. Okay? And if you're not, get out. So, a workforce warrior is a happy person. It's somebody who wants to go to work every single day. This past Labor Day, I wake up on Monday. Labor Day, what is that? Labor Day. I wake up on Monday. My wife's, what's wrong with you? I was sad. I wasn't happy. Right? So what's wrong with you? I want to go to work. I have to take off today. Okay? I'm a happy employee. Okay? I love what I do. I work for good people. I make systems happen. You're laughing at me. Are you a happy worker? You're a static worker. Great. That's what I want to hear. But that's our goal. That's our goal, because in the private industry, happy employees create profits, and everyone's happy. Everyone wants to come to work, and everyone wants to be there. Okay? We don't lose employees very often. I'd like to think it's because we have a nice balance where management says something and the employees just happy. Okay? So that's what I'd like everyone to work on. What can we do? And we're doing it. We're trying to do it. What can we do in order to make your employees happy and your management happy, or your supervisor staff happy? Well, in our systems over the past couple of years, we've really tried to exploit the idea of putting a lot of control in the employee's hands. Who uses open shifts? Who uses open shifts properly? Didn't think so. Okay, the whole idea with open shifts, remember when I was telling you before, about 10 years ago, when we had the cardboard box, and the guy would pick up the card and he would say, hey, would you like to work overtime? And then they would call up and talk to his wife, talk to his kid, talk to the dog. He would have to go through a lot of stuff to actually get to that person. And then God forbid that person was doing something else and got passed over. Then he'd call up and call the union, and then the union would say, hey, you didn't hire the right guy. Sounds familiar, right? So we looked at that and we built open shifts. Right? We took open shifts and we said, okay, let's post this out on the internet. Right? Let's post these open shifts out on the internet. Let people pick what they want to work. Whoa, what a concept, right? Let them pick what they want to work, and then we'll do one of two things. We'll either award the open shift based on people who actually want to work it, or we will call only people who want to work it. Okay, who has over 100 people in their police department? Okay, who has over 200 people in the police department? Okay, did you ever have to call 199 people to find one person to work overtime? Okay, huge waste of time. Huge waste of time. Often I'll go in with this wild and crazy concept of, hey, why don't we just pick who we want to pick, right? Or based on who wants to work. Oh, no, we can't do that. The union says everyone needs to get a phone call. And I said, yeah, that was in the 1980s that rule came out. 1970s that rule came out. We didn't have texting. We didn't have email. All we had was a copper telephone. And I can tell you right now, the people today don't want to be tied to their home phone. They don't want to be tied to a telephone. They want to be able to go in and say, hey, I'm going to work this. I'd like to work this job. I'm interested in this extra duty job, and I'd like to work it, and please pick me for it. Then we can add rules to that. We can say, okay, first come, first serve. We can do a bunch of different things. We can say, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the discovery zone. We're going to do a little class on the rules-based scheduling and everything. And we're going to be able to say, hey, we're going to pick a first come, first serve person, but you can only work 2 jobs in a 24-hour period. Not 24 hours working time, but ass in the chair, pick 2 jobs, and 24 hours later, you can pick another 2 jobs. Sounds pretty fair. Okay, and there's absolutely no involvement for the supervisor and the just the cop or just the person who's working. It's going to go in there and going to see it. So those are some of the things that, I was talking to some people yesterday. I've been talking to some people over the course of time. I see them at different shows and things. They say, hey, guys, we only use about 10% of your system. And I'm saying, well, I hope it's a good 10%, because, you know, there's a lot of things that you can do that can really automate this stuff. So those are the things that we're trying to do. We're trying to create happy workers. We're trying to create happy supervisors. We're trying to create happy admin staff. We're trying to take that control that you guys love and need so desperately, but still control the outcome, right, through rules. Okay, and we can do that, and we need to know what those rules are. Okay, well, I know what they are from 4 or 5 years ago, but what are the rules now? We're going to hear somebody today, either today or tomorrow, the millennial guy. Okay, tomorrow. We're going to hear tomorrow how to deal with millennials. Do we have any millennials here? Okay, you guys are really tough to work with. Okay, and you have a certain way of doing things. That, hey, don't mess with me. I got my way, and I'm going to do it that way. And we don't want to waste a whole lot of time. I work with some credit unions and things like that, and we're talking about how to get millennials into our customer base. So we've been studying them a lot, and we're going to have to know that, you know, some of these other people in the room who grew up wanting to be a cop and wanting to do all kinds of things and did it a certain way, millennials are going to be doing it a little bit differently. Okay, so that's going to be good. We're going to check that out tomorrow. Some other things that we're also going to be looking at is we have a preferred payroll vendor that we're going to be, you know, we're interfacing with. I'm going to ask them to come up now and talk to everybody. What we're doing is over the course of the last few years, I'd say about 5 or 6 years, we've been doing payroll interfaces for everyone. It's been a little painful sometimes, but we always get it right. Anyone see the movie Everest? Okay, everyone saw Everest. You see when they hit the summit? Okay, and everyone was all happy and everyone was all joyful and cheering. That's kind of what happens at VCS when we get a payroll export market. Okay, everyone celebrates. It's awesome. And a lot of times when we struggle, and I'll use the word struggle, with payroll interface, it's because we're not getting the full answer from you guys. Okay, how do you do payroll? Okay, it's 5 fields, it's a couple different rules we do. It's not a very difficult thing to do, but a lot of times it's been done some way for such a long time that we don't remember. Well, how do we do that? What does that holiday mean? When I get that holiday time, do I get a pay? Do I get comp time? You know, what does that happen? So next time you're working with somebody, especially when it comes to a payroll export or any time we're setting up a rule, do yourselves a favor, because we're going to work on it forever until we finally get it. But do yourselves a favor, keep the frustration level down, and make sure you tell us the whole story. Okay? I'm going to give the mic over to Tim from Unicorn, and he's going to talk about his payroll system, and that's the system that we've chosen to be our preferred payroll.
Good. Can you hear me? Okay. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Tim Dianci from Unicorn HRO, and I am a warrior. I must have dropped on the edit room floor because I didn't make your video. So, guys, if you could check on that, I would really appreciate that. Okay. So, Unicorn HRO is what I call a full-service HR payroll provider. Okay, meaning that we have payroll module, we have HR module, we have a benefits module, and we have, of course, the employee portal. And so it is designed for the more complex payroll. And in looking at the market, municipalities, police fall in that complex payroll. I happened to be one morning, about 6 o'clock in the morning, sitting in the Asbury Park police station. Okay? And my job at Unicorn is to expand our market. So I'm sitting in the police station after the Uber or police dropped me off there about 2:30 in the morning and said I should just stay here until the morning and then I could drive home. So I appreciate that. But I was amazed at the administration effort that went on in the police and the municipality of scheduling, people calling in sick, different jobs. The admin staff was going whiteboard. And they've got the people's names on the board. And they're drawing lines and putting people in boxes. And I'm like, this is insane. They can't go there. They're gonna make mistakes. And people are not gonna get paid correctly. And when people don't get paid correctly, they're not happy. So I was like, this could be an opportunity. I pay people correctly, but I need something to tell me how many hours they work, what job they work, what rate they work. And so I went out and I looked for a partner. And the partner I found was VCS. And it was nice and easy. They happened to be located in New Jersey. And I'm in New Jersey. So we called the meeting and we started discussions with Kathy and Don. They were very good. And I was very happy with the way they approached their client base. Okay? There are lots of payroll providers, there are lots of time and attendance providers, about 3,000 in each market. So the key is, and the key at Unicorn is servicing the client. So our clients have been with Unicorn about 15 years. They average about 15 years. Is that thunder? So about 15 years with Unicorn, and it's because of the service that we provide. Now, I'm not much different than ADP. I'm not much different than Ceridian, even though we do calculate checks correctly. They happen to be a little bit off, but we do our job. But it's about service. It's about getting to know you and getting to know your rules. A guy very on the same page. I need your rules. We interpret your rules. We enforce your rules. I don't want to run the police department. I don't want to run your town. I want to help you run your business, your town, your police department. So you tell me what you need. There's lots of other payroll providers that will tell you, you've got to fit in this box, and this is how you have to do it. That's not our philosophy at Unicorn. We want to listen to what you do, interpret what you do, and make sure our system enforces your rules, making sure that you get paid correctly on the overtime, and you get your PTO balances on time, that we keep you in compliance. Compliance is a big issue. Okay? There is the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. Hate it, like it, love it, it's here to stay, and the reporting is onerous. It's all automated through our systems. Okay? But it starts with only having the correct data. And so the data comes from Unicorn, it comes from VCS. Now, Guy also made another point, the interfaces. What a nightmare. I'm sure you all lived through this at one point in your career, trying to tie systems together. Okay? So now we have this thing called the cloud. What does the cloud mean? Well, to you, the end user, I don't think it means a whole lot. Because you had application, you had software, and it was always delivered to the device, whether it's your IT staff that's supporting it, or whether it was a vendor like Unicorn or VCS supporting it. You just wanted the data and the functionality. Okay? So that's what, big deal. So it comes on a different device, it comes on your phone, it comes on a smartphone, it comes in your browser at home. Okay? What it means to the software vendor, what it means to Guy and Unicorn is we don't have to deal with your IT staff. We don't have to deal with all your networks. We'll build the integration for you behind the scenes. And we'll make sure that it's flexible and it's configurable to your needs. So based on your rules and based on your pay rules, we'll pass that data. It's seamless. You're just getting the light from the light bulb. You don't have to know about the ballast. You don't have to know about the conduits. You don't have to know electricity. All you want to do is to make sure that the data entered in one system syncs with the data in the other. And that's our responsibility. And we'll live by that. And that's the service that we need to provide. And what does that mean to you? It means automation. It means speed. Okay? So no longer, for the people that have to run payroll, grudgingly come in Monday, oh my God, I've got to collect all the time from these different people, I've got to sort it out, and then I've got to start the process of reconciling the hours and calling people. No more. It should flow through. All seamless, automated, paperless. Okay? That gives you the opportunity to do other things. Okay? Entering transactional data is not what you do best. Okay? You're knowledgeable, dedicated workers. So let's use your brains instead of Tim, Diossi, Ocean Avenue, Belmar, New Jersey. Okay? I live in Belmar. You're all welcome to come down. Okay? You're responsible for your own food and drink. Okay? I'll put you up. You can sleep, but I'm not paying for your drinks. So I've learned the hard way. Okay? So it's the automation, and that means operating efficiency, and it means accurate, timely payroll data. For the payroll people in here, you're the most loyal employee to the town, your company, big department. You're the only department that is 100% accurate and 100% on time. And when CFO complains, tell him that you've got 100 auditors, 200 auditors every week looking over your shoulder saying, you're wrong. Just talking with Steve over there, how I had an engineer come to me, and one of our clients, he was just an employee, and he wanted to know how far out we calculated PTO to the right of the decimal. And he thought we should go 6 places to the right of the decimal, because after 5 years, you shorted him about a half hour. And I responded that, you need a life, dude. I'll send you $1 for your half hour. But it just goes to show how employees look at their paycheck, look at their balance, and they want to make sure that they're paid on time. And if that happens, they're happy, and admin's happy doing their job. So, Unicorn, as I said, we take from recruiting to retirement. We have all the benefits package. We have the employee self-service, enrollment, everything automated. We can make you 100% paperless. We deal with municipalities all the time. For those in New Jersey, we do Middlesex County, the entire county, including the police, the different schools, the social services. We do all the benefits and reporting. So I understand how complicated those payrolls can be, how complicated the union pieces can be. It's all in the system, baseline. So if we have the booth out here, please stop by. We can do a free evaluation, show you the system. We'll be here for the next 2 days. So thank you guys for inviting us, and we'll see you all around. Okay.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, when we created this relationship between VCS and Unicorn, it was basically because a lot of times we were having issues talking with other payroll companies. So we just found that if we can create a seamless interface with another payroll company, we don't want to be in the payroll business, we're in the scheduling business. So we weren't going to even think about creating a payroll system. Obviously, here at Tim, it's very, very involved. Probably they're good at payroll, we're good at scheduling. So a good marriage is probably better than us trying to do both of them. So I would absolutely talk to Tim. I'm not quite sure what your situations are with your current payroll systems or payroll companies, but if you are looking to change, that is our goal, is to create a seamless payroll system. One of the things that's going to be nice about that is we'll actually talk to Unicorn. VCS will talk to Unicorn. You don't have to get in the middle, okay? Which is going to be huge. Trust me when I tell you, when we talk to ADP and certain things like that, they won't talk to us. They won't talk to VCS. They'll only talk to the customer. It got so bad at one point, about 9 years ago, we actually hired ADP to be our payroll vendor, so I can learn how to do payroll for ADP. So give Unicorn a look at it. It's a great system, and like I said, it's going to create a nice little marriage between the two companies, and it our goal is to have a seamless interface. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit was the conference. Now, who's been to our conferences before? Okay, anyone? Okay, good. So we have a bunch of people. Our very first conference, going way back to about 1999, 2000, 2001, somewhere around that. We did it, and there's about 20 people there. Ewing Township Police Department. Is anyone from Ewing here? Okay, they were supposed to be. Ewing Township Police Department gave us a room. Where? Hey, yes, there you are. Okay. Well, your room, your conference room. Were you there? You weren't there then. Okay, so Ewing Township Police Department gave us a conference room. We showed up. About 20 people were there. What was laughing at? Yeah, I can't remember. So anyway, so we showed up. We gave a day-long conference. We ordered pizza. We did all those other things. Our conference has really evolved, just like our company has. So what we did today was we're looking at charities. About a few years ago, during Hurricane Sandy, someone tell me how long ago was this? Okay, we started. What's that? 5 years ago. Okay, we started beach backpacks for beach towns. We started looking into how can we help. We reached out to a lot of our customers were involved with Hurricane Sandy, and we reached out to some of our other customers throughout the country, and they sent us a lot of beach bags or backpacks filled with toiletries and different things like that for these people who were, who were devastated, basically lost everything. And we started looking at that. We said we have a little bit of reach. We can go out there and find, take police to police to a whole different level, and find other people in the country to help out the police over here in New Jersey. So we did that, and VCS Gives Back was created. From that point on, we started VCS Gives Back, and we try to support local charities or charities that deal with police. One of the latest ones that we did a couple of years ago is we support, I met Eric Estrada. Everyone remember Eric Estrada from CHIPS? Okay, Punch from CHIPS. Right? So I met him at the National Sheriff's Association in Washington, D.C. And what he does is he's actually a deputy sheriff someplace in California. What he actually does is he has a foundation to give bulletproof vests to police departments that can't afford it. And also, which I never thought of this, the dogs that are actually sent in so that the cops don't have to go and have to deal with that. So we actually at VCS have outfitted a couple of dogs and outfitted a couple of people with bulletproof vests through our VCS Gives Back. Okay? So what we're doing this year, is we chose the Eric and Jesse Decker Foundation. Everyone know who Eric Decker is? From the Jets? Okay, we have a silent auction over there. We're auctioning some things, and we're going to give all the money to the Eric and Jesse Decker Foundation. Yeah, great organization. Obviously gives us an opportunity to give back. They are military vets. They need our help. Just like everyone else, we help out the police who can't afford police vests. They need our help. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to wrap it up because I know you guys want to get on your training and different things like that and learn more about our systems. But before I do that, I just want to talk about what's next in VCS. So we can go back and we can start looking at things. So right now we have Schedule App. Some people are still on our legacy system. We're running a boot camp. Hopefully everyone who's still on legacy is planning on moving over to Schedule App. And then we're going to be, over the next couple of months, maybe a year, we're going to be moving everybody over to the web. Yes.
Legacy, the original?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. The original system, which is 1999, it was written. Okay? So there's a lot of technology that happened, and we're doing a lot of cool stuff since 1999. Actually, I take that back to 2001. Okay, I had to rewrite it in 2001. So if you're still on the legacy system, I would absolutely suggest that you move over to Schedule App. We're also enhancing our web portal. So everything that can be done right now supervisors and below. So supervisors and police officers can use the web. Okay, what we're moving towards is everybody can use the web. Okay, so the whole entire system is going to be web-based and mobile-based. So we're going to enhance our mobile capabilities. I know people have been asking for that. So the web-based, the mobile-based, you want to move over to our cloud. We're building a cloud system right now. Well, it's actually built, but we're enhancing our cloud system. We're in the process of signing up with Microsoft, getting in the contract with Microsoft. So we will be able to do Microsoft Azure Gov. If anyone's familiar with that, that's the one that was certified by CGIS. It's very, very expensive. If you want to do that, we can certainly help you out with that. But right now, our data center is in Piscataway, New Jersey, and it's our data center. So there's no other people on those servers except our police customers. Okay? But you want to move over to the cloud because that's where we're going. Everything that we're doing is going to be reinforcing the use of the cloud. A couple things that we're doing in our cloud is we're capturing data. Now, not sensitive data, we're capturing data. So in a geographical area, what's happening with overtime? Not people's names, not the departments, not anything. What's happening with overtime, what's happening with time off, different things like that. So using that information and leveraging the cloud, we're going to be able to predict what your scheduling issues may be. But the Super Bowl was Sunday, what happened on Monday? Okay, so did people call out sick? Did a lot of people work overtime? Different things like that, so that you can begin to foresee where these are going to happen. So we're going to try to put some artificial intelligence into our system. So we're not only going to be able to use your own information, we're also going to be able to show in your neighbor's accounts. But trust me, we're not going to be putting up any names or anything like that. We'll just say, hey, on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the morning in North Jersey, we had a peak overtime. That's it. So that everyone can start looking at different things like that and say, hey, maybe we'll be part of that, part of that cloud. Okay, just trying to predict some different things. So, but like I said, we're moving everything over to the web, which should make everybody happier. Let me just we have to get to some other things. We are going to have what we call our fireside chat at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock to 5 today. That's when I want all of your questions like this. That's when it's going to be back in this room. I'm going to be sitting in those chairs over here. Kathy will be with me. And you just fire your questions and we'll be able to answer them. Or, obviously, you can see me outside and I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Okay? But thank you, everybody, for coming. The next 2 days are going to be awesome. Thank you for your business. We're all in it for the same thing, to make happy employees. So thank you very much, and I think the workshops are going to be starting very shortly.